Hello and welcome back to my channel. If not back, then just welcome. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a face full of first impressions. Now, generally on my channel, I like to do more review type videos as opposed to first impressions videos because I feel like they're just a tad bit more helpful. But I also feel like first impressions videos are more fun. So here's my attempt at being a fun person, which is not something that I am generally. Everything that I will be using today I ordered from Ulta's website, but for a little added twist, I decided to do only online only available products and on the drugstore end of the price spectrum. So everything that I'm using today, you can't get in the Ulta beauty stores. I thought this would be interesting. Maybe there's some hidden gems lurking in the online only section of Ulta that we don't really know about here on these YouTube streets. So I just figured that I would go ahead and take the plunge and see if this stuff even works. I feel like I have rambled on way too long. Let's just go ahead and get into this makeup. So the first product that I'm going to be using is the Lottie London Insta Filter Pore Eraser Stick. Stick pores, that's a different language, never mind. So the Lottie London products, they don't say much about themselves. They're very secretive. The claims of this is that it's supposed to instantly blur pores, even out complexion, and minimize shine. This retails for $7.99. There's no scent to it at all, which is good. Let's put this on my face. Gonna put on a few swipes. I am noticing a little bit of pilling. There's like some product pill up, which I'm not a fan of. Next up is foundation. Selfie Ready Medium Coverage Matte Foundation, which is a water-based foundation enriched with vitamin C. All about that vitamin C life. In the shade Amber Honey. Now, online only foundations scare me. The probability of me getting the shade wrong is high. For these, I went ahead and I found swatches online of people who have used the product. Let's read up on this Selfie Ready medium coverage stuff. It's available in 10 shades and there's no description of them. And the second lightest color is called Toasted Almond. And almond is something that I feel like is generally a word that's reserved for people that are tan to dark. So going based off of how these are named, I would have had no idea of what to pick. I'm glad I looked at swatches. It retails for $7.99. It doesn't say much about any sort of claims about it being long lasting or anything like that. It just says that it's a medium coverage matte foundation that will cover blemishes and even skin tone whilst leaving skin looking naturally flawless. So I'm assuming for a more, that means it's going to have a more skin-like finish. It comes in a little squeeze bottle like this. I like that it has a nozzle on the top of it for easy dispensing. And it's pretty thick, but not cream thick, but it's not runny. I'm going to start out real light and I'm going to concentrate on the areas where I like my most coverage. I'm going to put a little bit on the corners of my mouth because it's a little dark around that area. And I'm just going to go ahead and wipe whatever is on my finger on my cheek. And I'm going to buff this out with the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. It doesn't really have a scent. My main focus when using foundation is just to even out my skin tone. I don't really have too many problems that I feel like I would want to cover up. And I also like to concentrate most of it on the center of my face. And then spread it out. I'm going to add a little bit more to my forehead just because I have like this mark here that I'm interested to see if it will cover up. I also have hyperpigmentation right underneath my cheekbone that looks like perma contouring. It's really hard to find any foundation that covers that, but I'm also not mad at that sort of hyperpigmentation. Yeah, that's really hard to cover up, so it doesn't look like that did anything there. I'm just going to go ahead and stipple a little bit over that with my finger. And it did a really good job. It was a very faint scar to begin with, I will admit that. But it did a really good job of covering it with just padding. I do like the finish of this. It is very skin-like. I really like that companies are finding the My Skin But Better formula in a matte form for people who have oily skin such as myself. I'm okay with this amount of coverage. I feel like if I try to put on any more, it'll look a little cakey. Just because medium coverage foundations are meant to be just that medium coverage. Going to address this under eye situation with the Lottie London Got It Covered Sponge Applicator Concealer in the shade Sable, enriched with vitamin E. I like that they have vitamin E and all, or vitamins in all of these products. It makes me feel like I'm actually doing something nice for my skin, which could be a lie. This is only available in 8 colors, and the shade range for the dark to deeper skin tone looks very limited. It looks like they only have like one true dark color. Let's see, it says this is enriched with vitamin E, covers imperfections and blemishes without caking or creasing. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply some of this to my under eye area. It looks a little bright for my liking, but it also looks like it has kind of like a peachy undertone, which is nice because it helps conceal the dark circles. But as far as what I enjoy for a highlighting concealer, I like something that's a little bit more golden. It has a very dry consistency. It makes me feel like you have to work fast. The shade isn't as bright as I thought it was going to be, which is a relief. I have super duper old lady crepey under eyes, and this concealer seems to be doing a good job. I like the drier consistency of it. At first I was a little bit worried, but I think I was put off because it was in a squeeze tube. It gives me the performance of a cream concealer, but with the ease of a liquid concealer, and I really like that. Alright, next up I have the Bronx Colors Contouring To Go. This is a cream contour highlight duo. Highlight, contour. By Bronx Colors. Did I say it was by Bronx Colors already? I'm not going to use this highlighting shade. I never ever utilize like a highlighting sort of cream highlight. I always just use a concealer. These products, these sort of cream highlight products, always crease underneath my eye. So that's why I tend not to use them. It's available in 3 shades. I have the deepest shade, and it's currently on sale for $3 on Ulta's website, which kind of makes me feel like it's going to be discontinued. The contouring shade is deep brown and the highlighting shade is medium beige. I'm going to go ahead and use one of my oval brushes that I got in a Walmart set. Don't recommend these brushes, but I don't really have a brush that I would use for cream contouring because I don't usually use these kind of products. So we're just going to see how this goes. I'm going to put it right on top of the hyperpigmentation because that is directly below my cheekbone. Since I have on this wig and my hairline's really low now, I'm not going to go around my forehead because I don't want to make my forehead look any smaller. But I'm just going to concentrate underneath here. I guess that means I don't really need to, but I usually use contour to warm up my face, more as like a bronzer kind of situation as opposed to a chiseling effect. I'm not a huge fan of this product. It's not bad, it's just that it's reminding me of why I don't normally cream contour and why I usually just warm up with bronzer. I do like the shade. Okay, I do like it for this purpose. Does my nose look more contoured? I don't know. I like this shade for it. It's not so warm as a bronzer, but it's not really ashy and dry looking either, which is important. There's this random tiny skinny mirror in here. What would I use that for? Gonna bring you in a little bit closer because it's gonna work on the eyes. I always have to use an eyeshadow primer because my eyelids are so oily. So I have the Bronx Colors Eye Primers Studio line. This retails for $6.99. It's only available in one color, which makes me sad. I like a more medium to deep eyeshadow primer. This reminds me more of the Eden shade of the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer as opposed to the regular translucent shade. Uh, it looks very slick. It looks very oily. And it also feels very oily. It feels like it's petroleum based almost, which is not a good sign for me. And seems very counterintuitive to a eyeshadow primer. Like, why would you want a slick eyeshadow base? It does blend out to be pretty invisible. Usually I can tell the sheen, the oil on my eyelid has been absorbed immediately with the primer potion. On this one, both of my eyelids look pretty much identical and I didn't do anything to this eye. I only primed this eye, but they look the same. It makes me want to set my primer with a setting powder, which I never do because I feel like that defeats the purpose of using an eyeshadow primer if you have to set it. Like, if I was going to do that, I might as well just use a concealer. Yeah, I have very little faith in this. Do not like. Oh, it does not feel like the set at all, but I'm going to move on. I have this bigger palette which has a very generic sort of like, what is it, private label kind of feel to it. Like BH Cosmetics, Morphe, that sort of feel with this just like matte black packaging, very thin. There's no mirror inside. But what drew me to this palette, it has 24 shades. The top 12 shades are matte and then the bottom 12 shades are shimmer. But they're the same colors, just in two different finishes. So if you wanted to do something that was very monochromatic, or if you wanted to do something that was like doing the one eyeshadow shade look, but you wanted two different finishes, you could easily achieve that with this. I think I'm going to go ahead and just use these colors over here, just because the lipsticks that I have would complement these colors better over here than say these colors. I think the first color I'm going to go in with is going to be this color here. I feel like this, yeah, I don't know if you can see that right here, but that eyeshadow primer is creasing, so I don't feel like it's gonna help my shadow stay at all, but that's fine. I don't have anywhere to be. I'm just testing out products. Not like swirling or anything. I'm just kind of like tapping a little bit on the front and a little bit on the back of the brush. So I'm not even going in like super heavy, and I feel like the color payoff is pretty nice. Now on a smaller brush, I'm going to go in with this color here, which is just a touch darker than the first one, and go a little bit lower. I'm not mad at this palette for $17.99. I don't feel like my eyeshadow looks any better or worse than it normally does. The shimmer shades so far aren't my favorite. Like, they're just a little lackluster, a little bit. And I don't feel like the shimmer colors are true to pan. Like, this inner corner highlight looks a little bit more golden in the pan, but on my skin it looks a little rose goldy. This shade here looks like it would be like a really nice bronzy color, and it's a bit lighter than I thought it would be, but even though I did like a very average eye look, I feel like it turned out okay. I'm gonna clean up right here a little bit with some concealer just because I got a little overzealous. As far as fallout, I didn't really experience fallout, which is really cool. I did on this eye once I wet the brush, which seems a little ironic, but I think that's just because I was moving the shadow around a little bit more. I didn't have any problem with fallout with the matte shadows. Just for a more crisp line. I don't want to do my eyebrows. Okay, so I have the Bronx, the Bronx Colors eyebrow pencil. It says it's the makeup artist choice, but I highly doubt that. I have it in the shade dark brown. I'm stalling on the brows because it pains me to use anything besides my boy brow. Like, that's the only thing that I like. It's the only thing that I love. And it's just sitting over there watching me be unfaithful. But okay, here we are with these brows that desperately need to be groomed. This pencil has two ends. It has a little short spoolie side, and then it has like a longer pencil-y side. Okay, this retails for $7.99. I paid $8 for the stupid eyebrow pencil that I don't even want to use. It's in the wrong color. Oh, boo. Boo. I'm just being a hater, really. But also, I don't really like this pencil. It's very soft, which means it's losing its sharpness immediately. I will say the waxiness of this pencil almost holds my brow in place like a pomade, but it's not actually a pomade. It's so flat by the time I get to the second eyebrow, like I need to sharpen this. I don't know where my pencil sharpener is right now, so I'm just gonna finish with this little nubbin. Not pleased. Now I'm gonna do my mascara. It's a J-Cat Eye Kind of Day, because I also have the J-Cat Volume Mascara. I always use volumizing mascaras because I have exactly 7 eyelashes. So it's important to make them look as full and plump as I can. They're long and they're curled, so I don't have to really worry about those things. I'm always here for a volumizing lash though. You know how when you use a mascara for a while, it gets better with age, the air or whatever kind of dries it out and makes it easier to use, better to use, whatever you want to say. This kind of has that feeling right out the gate, which is really nice. Hopefully that means it doesn't get too crusty later on down the line. I also like the shape and size of the brush. It's just like a normal old school mascara wand. No fancy silicone, anything, no hourglass shape or anything like that. But it's like skinny, fat skinny, so I can use the tip of it to get closer to my lash, the tips of my lashes. All right, now let's move on to cheek products. For my blush, I have the Bronx Colors Intense Blushers. I have it in peach and I have it in rose. For this look, I think peach would be better. These blushes have glitter in them, and I feel like I was bamboozled. Had I known that these were glitter blushes, I would not have purchased them. It is available in 4 colors, 4 pretty natural, nice looking colors, and it retails for $8. Here we go. Here goes nothing. Oh, I just touched it a little bit and there's already a glitter piece on my face. It's a really pretty color. With the lighting and stuff, I don't think that it's necessarily picking up. It is a little bit. Yeah, it is a little bit. I have large pores and like textured skin is kind of a concern of mine. And glitter is just like, hello. I mean, sit on any fine line or hole that is on your face. But I really like this color. It's such a nice, natural, subtle blush. Moving on to my highlight. The Lottie London Shimmer Squad 4-piece highlighter. 4-piece highlighter quad. The shades are the Good Girl, the Flirt, Troublemaker, and Queen Bee. Okay, here we go. And it looks like there's like 2 warm shades and then 2 cool shades. So from top to bottom, I have the Good Girl, the Flirt, the Troublemaker, and the Queen Bee. I know they kind of all look the same. I think my favorite one is the Queen Bee, this one down here. These two look a little ashy for me. So I think I'm just going to go in with the Queen Bee because the Flirt looks really nice, but it looks safe. Like, it looks like my go-to highlight color. And I kind of want to branch out a little bit. So the Queen Bee looks a little bit lighter. Oh, that's bright. See, this is why I don't mess with powder highlights. I feel like it's just picking up on every single particle on my face. That's shiny. It doesn't have a lot of chunky glitter in it, but it is as glittery. It is as glittery as the blush. Okay, it's not bad. It's super soft. It's super blendable. All of that is fine. I just don't usually go for a powder highlight because of the texture of it. I think I just went in too heavy-handed on this side. Like, I put a little bit on the brush, but I went whomp, and it was a lot. Whereas on this side, I put a little bit more on the brush, but I just kind of like lightly did it. And I like how this side looks better. It looks a bit more subtle and a little bit more natural than I think this side, which looks a bit more like Instagrammy, super bright, super blingy. Like, this highlight palette retails for $10.99. The last step is the Bronx Colors Just Matte lipstick. This is the color Nude. So this retails for $6.50. It says it's a matte lipstick, but it looks very shiny. It's like the color of my bottom lip. Even though it's the color, like almost the exact color of my bottom lip, I prefer a deeper brownie nude color. But for me, it is nude because it's the color of my lip. So I wouldn't call this matte though. I would call it satin. It has kind of a weird smell, like a chemically minty smell. This is the final face, and the final verdict is most of this stuff is just okay. I'm most impressed by the complexion products, which also makes me the most surprised. The surprising star of the show is the concealer that I can't find right now. Yeah, this Lottie London Got It Covered Sponge Applicator Concealer is the favorite. Overall, I don't really think that there are that many hidden gems lurking in the online only section. So to wrap everything up, if I had to recommend anything, I would recommend the Lottie London face products if you can find your shade. They are available in a ridiculously limited amount of shades, but if the shade is there for you, then I would recommend going ahead and getting it. I feel like that's way more than enough of me talking. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. Till next time. Bye, guys. Hi. I'm just back a few hours later to let you know that I don't look a horrid mess. And that these products are actually pretty nice. Ate dinner, so the lipstick's gone. But the other stuff, the eye stuff is still pretty much all intact. Which I'm surprised by. That's the one thing that I thought would be like completely gone. Original recommendation still stands. Okay, till next time, for real. This time. Bye, guys.